You have probably heard the statement, "You own nothing and you will be happy." This statement is attributed to Klaus Schwab. If we own nothing, what can we do? Is this happening? Probably yes. If so, what do you really own? Nothing. What can you do about it? Maybe the first step is to know the difference between personal property and private property. Even so, you may think you own private jet, lots of money, houses, farms, cars, or anything. But is it possible by 2030 you will not own anything? Is there an agenda to strip us clean? Yes. It looks like that. Here is the proof that we own nothing already. Through licensing of cars, houses, phones, education, politicians are pre-selected and licensed to participate. We do not produce our own food. The industry that produces our food, we don't know what it is doing and what it is adding to the food. Our marriages are regulated through licensing. We do not even know how to manufacture easy herbs to cure even a slight headache or stomachache. We do not own the land. There are title deeds that you should have under a specific land tenure system that we do not control. Money is printed by a few family monopolies. Perhaps the thing that we might say we have something towards it is afterbirth, our growth, our death, and that's it. Our burial, we will not be there. We might leave a will, but things may be changed by those that remain. So let's look at licensing, which is a permit or certification. License and license spelled in two ways with NCE and NSE. These are two variants of the same word, which can be a noun or a verb. Very powerful, because if it is a noun and a verb, it is a very active word. As a noun, it means a permit or certification. As a verb, it means to permit or to allow or to endorse. So when you speak American English, the only spelling that you have is the license that is used, regardless of its context. But when you use British English, the word license is the verb form if it is an SE. And when it has got an NCE, it is a noun. So the synonyms are one of the ways that you can detect the power of the word, because the word becomes a genre. Synonyms of license is permit, permission, authorization, privilege, warrant, certificate, right, freedom, liberty, or sanction. So permitted by who? Anyone who has the power can select any of these synonyms and apply them at law. So who has the ultimate power in our face today? It is the government. But the government does not have power in reality. It is the hidden powers, the secret government that orchestrates the current government. Therefore, despite many arguments that you might have, that you own a car, that you are educated with a master's or PhD, or that you have a farm, you are a great farmer, and that you have got title deeds. When you purchase property, you are given certificate of title or title deeds, which is a legal document. Remember, the secret government selects the laws and puts forward the laws. In truth, you own nothing, because he or she or that which gives you a license owns that which it is giving you a license for, a permit for. Even politicians are pre-selected. By the time we vote, they have already been pre-selected prior to that. So voting is pointless, and your vote doesn't matter much, because the hidden force is giving candidates to you. We do not even own the systems that produce our food. The food that we eat, we do not even know where it is coming from and who is touching it and what they are putting into it. When you look at this map, areas that are shaded gray are the areas that are still holding out in terms of food production. You can see that it's only partially in Africa and here in Iceland and perhaps some other islands here in the Eastern Pacific, where people are still producing their own food. which is no data there, because the food in these areas, people are still producing their own food. See, in South Africa here, they no longer produce their food. It's now industrialized. In Kenya, is industrialized. In Nigeria and other parts of West Africa, is industrialized. In so-called Middle East, it's gone. It's all gone. There is no more control. You cannot produce your own food. But only in Africa, we're still holding out. Marriage, there are people that are licensed and authorized by the government and the secret government to give you a marriage certificate. You can see here, a marriage license officer is said here to any person authorized by the laws of the state, and they specify the state is Texas, and then they give you a certificate of marriage. Even if you are in love, even if you are not in love, they have to certify you, because that's the process of registration, that you are married, so that they can tax you and run your life. When it comes to heavy industry as well as heavy equipment, earthwide manufacturing of these products, even of construction, of flying, of shipping, all is done by very, very few people that own the capital, the brains, the skills, the management skills, the organizational skills, and they own the markets, and they own the products, and they own the sources of all these. So we own nothing at all. If you own these machines and industries, the money that you use to do your business activities comes from few families that gives that money to the government. So if you ask an economist today, where does money come from? They don't know. And when you ask them, where does it go? They don't know. Because according to Disraeli, the former British Prime Minister, said the Rothschild is the lord and master of the money markets of the world, and virtually lord and master of everything. That is the statement that tells us that we do not own the money that we have. I smile a lot. You should smile a lot when you hear, when you read that so and so is a multi-millionaire or is a multi-billionaire, because the money is owned by the secret force and the secret power that is behind the families, the 13 families that hold the monopoly to issue out money to reserve banks of countries. So when we look at our birth, our growth, and our death, and our burial, it is here where we have very slight ownership. Notice there is some form of licensing, yes, but we got a little room to wriggle. This is what they are targeting, to remove that little room to wriggle. If we own nothing, what can we do? We must find this space and hold it by both hands, by understanding and grasping pre-birth motives, so that we can manage our lifespan and manage how we live and control our post-death destiny. Where were you before your birth? You were either somewhere or nowhere. We must manage our lifespan so that we create an opportunity in the present, in the now, for the best outcome in post-death destiny. How do you do that? The proof that this is critical is the raging battle for something that is inside human beings, and a non-human force wants that. But it knows that it cannot take it by force, but it can take it by manipulation, so that you can give it freely, or thinking that you have done it freely by deceiving you. Because what's happening to the world before 2030 proves that fact. Before we divulge what is that which is inside you, and we need to identify the deadly program and the programs that are afoot on the world from many international powerful organizations. And one of them, we've already indicated it, is the World Economic Forum, headed by Klaus Martin Schwab, a German man born 30 March 1938. He's an engineer and economist, and he has been the leader of the World Economic Forum since its inception, 1971. Then he says, you will own nothing and be happy. And he has a program that is called the Reset Program, or the Great Reset Program. Let us share some of the facts, more facts about the battle to curtail the incredible human potential that lies inside you through technology that stifles our free will and the flow of information. Because without information, we are nothing. With data, we are nothing. We need quality information. The internet must be reformed. That's what he says, Klaus Schwab. Because there is too much misinformation out there. This will be the next step for the Great Reset. That's what he says. But we need information. Our inner souls knows the true information when it meets it, because it is remembering it. Never has science been clearer in its concern about the risks of climate change and the stress this places on our oceans and other vital ecosystems. Yet our response to melting glaciers is glacial. Is driving a program known as decarbonization, net zero carbon. Is decarbonization double speak? Because carbon is the most important element in living things because of its special properties. Melanin is worth more than gold. One of those articles dealing with decarbonization has to explain why they are decarbonizing, because I am carbon. Melanin dominant people are carbon. We cannot accept that. Our leaders are accepting decarbonization without any ideas and accepting the so-called fourth industrial revolution, which he says will affect the very essence of our human experience. The very essence of our human experience. Remember, your soul is here on earth for experience. And here is someone who says he wants a revolution to tinker with that experience that you should have, natural experience that you should have. Now, the journey to finally owning nothing didn't start yesterday. It started long ago through soul manipulation tactics, where history is a lie, where money is a hoax, where debt is fiction, where the media is manipulation, where the government is a corporation, where the system is an illusion, and we are being played upon each other and being divided and being conquered by systems that use our skin color, our nationality, our sexual identity, our religion, language, profession, our class, and our social customs, as well as political identity. The Great Reset affects a lot of life on earth and destroying the natural life that we should experience on earth. Here is what it is doing. The battle really is not for anything else, but the final battle is for your soul. Kakati ba abu aku kai biti sao sheke murenyi. These are the 9 parts of the human soul. These, you have to escape this soul trap. The light that you think you will see when you die. You have to escape the ignorance and the trappings and the holograms that are set, the food that we are eating today, the things that are happening today, the control that is happening today. Since they are urging us and forcing us to own nothing, what can we do? It is time to grab your soul using Ma'ati and never sell it and never surrender it for any material offers, including even deprivation. Here is a statement from Agrivel.com. Man sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present moment. As a result, he does not live in the present or in the future. He lives as if he is never going to die. And then he dies having never truly lived. So when he says you own nothing, he is including your soul, because he said it is the time and that technology and that the present moment is good to change human experience from natural to artificial. And they do it through technology. And the technology they use, one of it is the Neuralink and the smartphone, smart cities, and the smartphones. So, since this civilization that we are living in is an illusion through technology and all the systems that we have identified, it is potentially correct that we must own nothing. We must not be attached to anything other than attached to our own soul. O Lord Ausari, establish me in strength. I have risen up and knitted myself together. I have made myself whole. I renewed myself and grew young. I am one with Ausari, O Lord of eternity. You must become an Ausari, a God dwelling in man. In Kushat Kemetic spirituality, it is taught that the African is the nectar of God. However, it is not saying that you are born a God. You have to become a God. It is the same way that a seed is potentially a tree, but it cannot call itself a tree until it has dug itself deep into the rich soil of the earth to eat of its nutrients and absorb the rainwater from heaven, and thereby becoming a tree. In the same way, you need carbon. In the same way, you are potentially a divinity, a God, but only if you develop yourself. This is from Kushite Kemetic spirituality. You can find them on Facebook. To own your soul thus far gives you greater happiness than all material assets. The choice is yours. Either you want to follow it and get lost, or you want to become one with the universe. If we really are being manipulated to own nothing, what we need to do is to own our soul using Mahati. You can learn more about this by subscribing to our Band Foundations course and explore many informative spiritual life sciences and topics by sending us an email on join@marifado.com. Subscribe to our channel, Kamiti Iburu Ethics. This is Hamaneja Topi, Priest Rabbi LM Tumizulu, saying Happy New Year 6259. Amen.